About moving back to the offensive line was pretty short. What was the process like for you making that decision, and what do you hope to do with this group?
Well, I mean, it was pretty fast. You know, do you want to do it? Absolutely. You know, I mean, something I love to do. You know, I love the group I had before, but kind of this is my passion. You know, what do we have to do to get it back to? You know, I don't want to be one of those guys that sit there and go, you know, I'm going to change the culture. The culture is good here. The work ethic is good here. There's a lot of super good things here. We got good players. You know, I just need to make sure that, you know, they're really squared away and we're doing the best things to put them in position to have success.
Obviously, different coaches look for different things in their units, their players. You made a couple position moves, moving Beach inside, moving Jack, right guard to left tackle. Can you just walk us through the process that led you to make those changes?
Yeah. Well, the process was watching the film, the 2021 film, and really studying that. And, you know, it was by no means, you know, but just watching the guys perform and what they did well and the things that they struggled with, you know, who is you know, kind of the guy that's going like this. And then that transfers into the style of offense that, you know, that I like to run, you know, what kind of protections, you know, who's going to be stressed. Those are where those things were all in the back of my mind as I watched it, you know, so that's kind of the process, you know. But and it's always, you know, having 8 practices, it's still a work in progress, you know. I don't sit there and go, you know, I feel like I have some things right, and other things are what I would call good opportunities. You know, someone's trending up and you're going, oh, he's going to create a good problem for us to have. You know, those are, when someone's pushing, then those are good problems to have. But we got a long ways to go before we figured it out, but it really started for last season, watching that film.
You said this is your passion. Yeah. What does he like specifically about coaching offensive linemen versus any other position? Just
it's all encompassing. Okay, you're involved in every position group. You know, when you design, whether it's a run play or a protection, it's not just, you know, you're the group in your room. You've got to be on the same page with everybody, and it really keeps you moving. You know what I'm saying? And you know, coaching linebackers was awesome. I enjoyed it. Those players were tremendous. But you know, it's like you're driving a truck 100 miles an hour all the time, and then all of a sudden you put it low, you're going 50. You know, it's just a different deal. You know, you're just really involved. You're involved in scheme. You're involved in design. You know, and I love that part about it.
What led you to put Logan Brown on the right side, and what have your impressions been of him trying to figure out that?
Part of the reason was moving Jack to left. You know, I mean, that's just deductive reasoning right there, you know, and then, you know, I want to give him a chance I want to have him in one place, you know, and that's really what all of the guys, you know, when I got the job and I called the guys, you know, I was like, you know, I'm going to work hard to find the best position for you, you know, where you're going to be at your absolute best and try to keep you there. And that's where players, in my opinion, get better faster. You know what I mean? Kevin Zeitler played right guard here, and he's still playing right guard. You know, now there isn't a lot of guys like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm part of his trajectory was the fact that he learned one trade, and he learned it really well. You know, to have a guard do that, you know, tackles, you know, centers, but a guard to do that, I think, is pretty representative of found a guy the home earlier, sooner than later, and he got better faster. You know, so I'm trying to get him better faster. You know,
one guy who's kind of has been the opposite of that, in part by necessity, is Bortolini.
Yeah.
He's played center. He's played tackle, guard.
Yeah.
I know he's
sure has.
Tippmann now.
Yeah.
Where do you see him?
Yeah.
Fitting in at some point?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to have him an interior guy. You know, and I'd still like to whittle that down. But the whole reason it started is because Tip is not available, okay? And Cormac Sampson is getting second team reps right now. and did a fine job for us in the past. You know, I just want to have another guy ready. I don't want to run into these problems where we're really light at that position. That can't happen. And you can't have that happen. And it's only going to help Tanor, you know, because, you know, different declaration system, different way of calling things, different way of IDing things. It's only going to reinforce his knowledge base when he gets out there. If he's at a guard position, he's going, well, I was waiting for you to make that call. You know what I mean? He should be in good shape that way. And, you know, offensive line, probably with everything in offense, it starts out with your assignment, you know, and then you go from there. I feel like he'll be in a good position to know his place.
What is it about Tyler Beach that makes him a better fit inside when they get tackled?
Just the, you know, I think he's athletic enough that he's, you know, playing out there in left tackle, you know, but I think he got exposed a little bit. But he still has good size and good movement and all those things. He's smart, he's dependable, you know, and I just think it'd take a little bit off of him. You know, that's a stressful spot out there, you know, and just to take a little bit off of him right there, you know.
You returned here preceded by a rival. How'd you end up coaching linebackers here when you returned after having such a background as an offensive line coach?
I got a phone call from Paul Christ.
That's where the availability
that was it.
And,
yeah. Yeah. You know, and at that time, you know, stability, you know, things like that, but program. I mean, I had a offer to coach offensive line in the Big Ten at the very same time, and I choose to come here because of the stability. The year later, that group got fired, and I think I made the right choice.
Has anything changed for you? Like, I know it's only been like 5 years since you know, or 6. Has anything changed in terms of the way that you coach the position?
Gosh, it's a great question. I don't have a quick answer for you, but you know, my look on the defense has changed, you know, and the defensive setup and the things that I see have certainly changed. You know, I feel like I had a good handle on it in the past. Now I feel like I have a better background, a foundation, and I'm hoping that can get me to expose the defense faster, you know, and it's not now, you know, I mean, 15 practices were over and over again, you know, it's Groundhog Day. But when you go start playing games and you start stacking them up one right after another and time starts flying, how fast can we identify that defense and what do we got to do to attack it? You know, that now as far as the game, it hasn't changed one damn bit. You know, I mean, it's still about tackling and fundamentals and knowing who to block, knowing how to block, you know, playing hard, you know, physical, you know, toughness, all those things that we preach around here. Then it changed all, you know.
When you talk about the defense, are you referring to the fact that coaching linebackers gave you a better perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the linebackers are the biggest adjusters, besides probably the back end.
Yeah.
You know, in the box, you know, those are guys that have to really fit things, see things. They got to know the coverage behind them. They're setting the front in front of them. There's a lot going on for those guys. You know, Jack and Leo did, all those guys did. Chris, Leo, Jack Sanborn. They all did a great job. They had a lot on their plate, you know, a lot on their plate. And yeah, it was from that group right there.
You're talking to some of the inside linebackers, and they were saying now in practice they're kind of motivated to show what they learned from you when they're going against some of those offensive line. What's that dynamic been like for you now, coaching some guys and then coaching sort of against some of the guys that you have against?
I mean, you know, they got Bill Sheridan. I was with Bill at Tampa, and he is, I mean, I told those guys before when they didn't know, I said, listen, the guy that we're hiring is going to make me look like, you know, bad. You know what I mean? He's that good. So, in the dynamic, I mean, you know, I feel like I've earned those players' trust. I think they're tremendous players, and you know, we're trying to make them better, and they're going to make us better, you know, at the end of the day.
We've heard a few times about how, like, the offensive play calling kind of structures, collaborative effort with the coaching staff. What's been your role kind of jumping back into this side of the ball and maybe tweaking some things with the run game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that you asked the question, you know, why do you like coaching offensive line? Well, because I'm not tweaking. I mean, we're wholesale changing, you know. I mean, I'm trying to keep a lot of things the same as far as terminology and words and things like that. So trying to reduce as much as I can for additional learning for these guys. But a lot of the other stuff is new. So it is a bit of an overhaul, even though I know, you know, maybe to the common eye football, like, oh, they're running the ball. Okay. You know, I mean, all right. But, you know, just some different styles, different schemes, you know, like I said before, you know, a different way of IDing things, you know, certainly a different run menu. You know, protections are huge, right? I mean, what you're teaching, protections are huge. I mean, so it's every play, you know, where you're going to have your hand in it, and you're going to, you know, but we're, you know, certainly Bobby coming from where he is and the success they've had doing what they do, you know, you look at that and you go, man, that'd be really good. You know, you're adding and you're deleting, you know.
Sure.
You've worked with Paul for a long time in different roles. He's kind of, it's going to be a different role for him this year as a head coach.
Right.
Are you surprised he, I don't want to say stepping back,
Yeah.
just shifting into a different role? Kind of almost like a
No, I mean, that's kind of what he said he wanted to do. He said he felt like he needed to focus on some other things, but I don't think he'll ever have his, you know, fingers out of the fray. I mean, I think he's always going to have his level of expertise with the things that he's really, really good at. We need those things.
Because of your experience with him, what are the things, in your opinion, he's really, really good at that can help make this?
Yeah, well, I think just starting out, you know, when you have guys that were coming from all over, like even though I was here, you know, my offensive background is a separate body. You got Bobby, that's a separate body, and then you have what they did before. Okay, so that's three things kind of probably working against each other if we can't. And then you've got Paul that's saying, okay, listen, that's really good, but you know, this is where you're going to run into problems. Okay, that's a high level of expertise that has been huge, you know, in developing these things and trying to, hey, our guys will know this, and they're going to know it really well. Keep that right there, okay? That's an example.
You mentioned before you watched film with these guys from last season and try to get a better sense of where they could be this season. How much was it collaborative in conversations with them, or how much was it you feeling like your spot should be left tackle, your spot should be right tackle?
Yeah, you know, honestly, not a lot. You know, I just, like I said, I told those guys I want to try to find the absolute best place for you. And, you know, the study and the research that I did on that 21 season was, you know, was the evidence behind it. You know, it's where you feel like, hey, I feel like I've got what I need here. You know, I feel good about it. And I did say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And those guys were all like, yeah, I'm coaches, whatever you think, you know, they're awesome that way.
A lot of the guys who've been on that unit on the field first have played in some games. A lot of the guys behind them have not. The young guys, where do you see them? I know it's 8 practices in the spring.
I see a lot of young guys trending up. You know, I just they need more reps to get there, you know, to see it. And I think, you know, we're kind of going to be out of the underwear period, you know, and now we're getting into the pads, and so hopefully we can up the reps, we can up these things and get going. But yeah, there's some really young, good talent in there that we got to give them a chance to show their stuff, you know. So I like some of those young guys in there. We gotta fast forward their development, because I mean they're a play away, you know, and it's just you know, it really is a work in progress. I mean, it's just something that I think about every single day. I mean, it's just, you know, it really weighs on your mind, you know, to do the players right, to do the team right, to make sure that you're getting the absolute best groupings, and then you're backing guys up right, and you're not wasting time, you're not wasting reps. You know, it's the worst thing we can do to players, you know, is just do things just to do things, you know.
specifically one of those young guys, Nolan Marucci, where would you say he's at? Because when we talked to him in December, he was pretty honest about, like, I needed a lot of seasoning last year, a lot of reps.
Yeah. No, I think all those young guys are kind of in that same mode right now. They're just trying to figure it out, and they have a new new system. With me, and the way I do things and the way I coach them might be a little bit different. So it might have been 2 steps forward, 3 steps back a little bit for those guys right there. So I would say that Nolan might say the same thing. But as far as just ability-wise and going out there, I think he's getting better every single day. Had a really nice day yesterday, and that's what you want to work with right there. But there's a lot of stuff right now. We're throwing a lot at him, in the spring. There's a lot of different pieces to it. I'm trying to keep it in those same families when you talk about run game, or I'm trying to keep things consistent in the pass protection game as far as ruling things out. But our defense is the beautiful thing about our defense is they show you a lot of different looks. They show you a lot of different personnel packages. And there's not you'll be in one college, you're going to see the same thing. First down, second down, third down. You're not going to see anything different here. We're really challenged, and our defense, really makes you go to that next step, so to speak. And our guys are doing a nice job. And they're understanding it, but it's going to take some time, and there won't be teams that will do things like this. But still, at the end of the day, they're going to have it in their back pocket.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.